cinemas are businesses. They're out to make as much money as possible,
Right.
like any other business. And so they are going to sell the tickets that people want to buy. Okay? So, and you say in December or at Christmas,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter when, okay? Any time of the year, the cinema wants to do that. Based on how well we think a film is going to do, that's how you allocate the time slots. It's not because you like anybody or you dislike anybody. It's a commercial decision you're making on the spot. Some cinemas don't take some films because that film, and it's not a question, is the film good, is it bad? It's the fact that this film will not do well in my cinema. And so if you're a small first-time filmmaker and you want to go up against the juggernauts in December, I'm praying for you. You know, good luck. But it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Right, so they say marketing for film is a crucial part of the film business, the film process. A lot of people do not understand this. And I sort of get a number of questions. And of course, when I put out stuff on my IG page and people are asking how is the best way to market my film, or when should I start marketing or planning marketing for the film? Is it after the film is done or when the trailer is up, or, you know, when should I start? And honestly, right, I'm not in that field. I just comment about film. But it's only normal for me to have someone that can have that conversation, you know, with me today. And to tell you a bit about, you know, marketing for film, especially in this part of the world, in Nollywood, we need to understand that it's probably not the same thing. It's probably not the same way, the same line in Hollywood and other woods, if I could say. Yeah, his name is Mr. Michael. I call him, I say, hey, Michael. He says he likes Michael. Michael Williams. He's an international marketing consultant, and also is the marketing honcho for films like Wedding Party 1 and 2, and of course Chief Daddy. You know, those films were the big films, big three films, you know, before Funke came on and, you know, do some magic. But yeah, we'll talk about everything today on It's a Wrap. My name is Dami Dawson. Welcome to It's a Wrap. Mr. Michael, it's good to have you.
Really good to be here.
Great. Now let's get into the crux of the matter. A lot of people have come on social media, a lot of filmmakers now. I saw a video from Shafi Bello. She said, I mean, it's still around the same dancing thing. And I really don't want to go into the dancing thing because a lot of people are sort of misunderstood that dancing might just work for one person, might not work for every other person. Now, you've been in the space for a while, and the first question I'd like to ask you is, what was different about marketing for Wedding Party 1 to Chief Daddy? What made it so different from what marketing for film is today, especially with films that are making or grossing high numbers in the box office?
I think what was different about the EbonyLife Films approach, certainly when I joined them, because there had been one film before I joined, which was 50. Yeah. And 50 was that first film, I think, that had that really big premiere and all of that, which nobody had really been doing that before, certainly not on that scale. And then those were the early days of marketing on social media and all of that. So by the time I came on board and I got involved, the Wedding Party, I think, had already been made. And I was, you know, head of marketing at EbonyLife Films at the time. And we had a particular playbook. I mean, Nollywood had a particular playbook already. So when I came on board, I added to that. It was my first time marketing film.
Oh, okay.
I had marketed all kinds of things, from cosmetics to money transfers with people like Western Union and MoneyGram and so on when I was in London. So I approached marketing a film like I approach marketing anything. Who's the audience? What do they want to see? What's the product? And how do we communicate what this product is all about to make them want to come out and see it? So it's in this one sense, it's marketing in its broadest sense, but then film marketing is a bit different. And so I had to do a lot of studying around how do they market films in Hollywood, because I didn't see anything around me in Nigeria that really resembled marketing the way I knew it. You know, distributors put up billboards and all those things, but not much more than that. And so that's when a number of things that are now very common in film marketing in Nigeria, like stars coming out to meet and greet at the cinemas, you know, those kinds of things. A lot of people doing a lot of social media promoting the film. And so then it was, sort of growing. And one of the things that was, simple as it may seem, almost no Nigerian film had a good poster. The posters were terrible back then. I mean, when I walk through our cinema now, I manage EbonyLife Place, EbonyLife Cinemas. I love to walk through the cinema lobby and sometimes admire some really beautiful posters that are being made by Nollywood producers now. Because then they would just grab some pictures from the film, slap it all together, and now people really make an effort. But we were one of the first people, if not the first, to really create, sort of Hollywood standard posters that you would have the standees, the billboards, and all of that. So, we played a part in that. So, we had a number 1, number 2, number 3 highest grossing films of all time. And to put that into context, before that, I think the biggest film had been about 150 million. Wedding Party came and did 450. Then the Wedding Party 2, including international gross, was over 500. Chief Daddy was, 380, 400, somewhere in that. And I remember at the time people said, "We don't trust the numbers."
Right.
Sound familiar?
Yeah, very familiar.
How can nobody did? All these big people, had already, AY, just a number of people had done films before. How do these people just come out of nowhere and do 450? So people said, we don't trust the numbers. But it's just like now, it's so difficult to inflate your numbers because the more you inflate is the more you owe. Right? Because everyone needs to get paid.
Right.
So if someone says, "Oh, you really did 450?" Right. So as a cinema, we would be getting a cut of that. The producer gets a cut of that. The distributor gets a cut of that. So nobody wins if you were to try to inflate numbers. It doesn't make any sense.
Is it just to cut you a bit? Is it possible for the inflation to be a PR line? Now, I say this for
it can be a PR line,
right?
But when you have the accounting behind the film, so years ago, a number of people did a lot of heavy lifting. So the Cinema Exhibitors Association of Nigeria, that we're a member of, all the cinemas are part of that, were very anxious to make sure that the accounting was world standard. And so ComScore came in, and ComScore does it for, virtually all the countries around the world, so that the reporting is pretty much the same. And people have to remember that when we're reporting numbers for film, we're reporting for Hollywood films as well.
Right.
You can't pretend to do gross for Black Panther because Disney says, send me the money.
Right.
So, like I said, inflating doesn't make any sense because everyone's owed a piece of that. So even if you did it for hype, you could, like recently there was a film that didn't go to cinemas. They
the community cinema.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah,
so I don't know if they inflated, but they could because they don't owe anybody anything. They're not. There's no chain, if you like. There are no cinemas that were paying. There's no distributor that were paying.
Right.
There's no one back in America that they're paying. So they could say what they liked. Nobody knows what those figures are. They weren't part of ComScore. With ComScore, so I run a cinema, and the numbers that we rack up in our cinema, there's software, and that software counts everything, the number of tickets, etc. For example, if you called me up and said, Michael, could you give me 10 complimentary tickets to the cinema? I could give it to you.
Right.
But I'd still have to pay the distributor.
Someone has to pay for it, right.
So I could give you for free. You think it's free, but me, it's going to cost me 55 or 50% of what that ticket was supposed to be, because it still shows in the cinema that there were tickets sold, even if they were given away.
Can I talk about some, good thing you mentioned cinema, and of course you had the cinemas at EbonyLife. First off, I must commend hospitality and the ambience, very good, loved it, love it. But I've heard of some irregularities with cinemas and how they punch in tickets. And I'll just say this here, a number of persons,
tell me what you mean.
So what they do is, when you come and buy a ticket for a particular film,
yes,
they give you the ticket for another film.
Okay.
and I mean, and they tell you still watch the film that you came to see. So what it means is, and this is not, I'm not making it up. A lot of people send me messages. I've witnessed one at Popular Cinemas where the lady came out and she was telling me that this is what happened. She wanted to see a particular film, but she got another ticket. What she got was another film. But she saw the film she came to see, because a lot of us, when we go to the cinemas, we don't check the tickets.
Can I tell you what happens?
Right.
That is much more likely to be the staff of that cinema doing graft.
Right.
So what happens, it's a used ticket that nobody tore, and they probably resold it. And that, I know a number of cinema operators who have fired people because there's a, you know, some kind of thing going on. There's a ring where, you know, the ushers don't tear the tickets, they recycle them, and so, and people get fired when it gets found out. So it's more likely to be something like that, because even if you were to punch a ticket for a different film, you still have to pay. I don't know, you still get your cut. The distributor of the other film still gets their cut.
That's what I'm saying.
So
Because, because the direction I'm going is it possible that there is a deliberate sabotage of someone else's film as against another person? I mean, you want to push a particular film.
Is it possible?
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
Right.
Is it likely? Very unlikely that you could do it on a large scale.
Okay.
So could there be, you know, a few tickets? But it would become so noticeable if it was done at scale. Think about most of the cinemas that sell most of the tickets. You know, a Film House, a Genesis, a Silverbird.
Right.
They sell the majority of tickets. So if that was any kind of scheme, if you like, it would be done on such a scale that it would be noticeable. Because if you see all these people going in to see this film, nobody going to see the other film, but somehow the film is selling more than the popular film, it still doesn't make sense. So, like I said, is it possible? Of course. Could it be done on a small scale? Yes. On a large scale, almost impossible.
Now,
because it would be easily detected.
Now, not to deviate from marketing, but I mean, you talked about cinemas, so I thought, okay, why not talk about cinemas too? I've come to understand that in the December lineup, certain films get, you know, more showtimes. And it's been a conversation around, you know, people are like, why are you giving this particular film more showtime than the other? And then the conversation of, you know, consumers are, you know, demand. People are in demand for this particular,
Let's just break down. There are a lot of myths involved with this. So let's start with the basics.
Okay.
Cinemas are businesses. They're out to make as much money as possible, like any other business. And so they are going to sell the tickets that people want to buy. Okay. So, and you say in December or at Christmas, it doesn't matter when, okay? Any time of the year, the cinema wants to do that. So let's just take a typical example of what happens in our cinema. I will be talking to my cinema manager, and she says, you know, we've got some really good films coming up for Easter, or for Valentine's, or for Christmas, or it doesn't matter when, right? Or for March, you know, just a period. We're just talking about what's coming up. And she will say, we've got, you know, there's a new Marvel film coming up. There's a new comedy with Adam Sandler coming. There's a new Yoruba epic. It doesn't matter. There are films coming up. And I'll say, so what do you think is going to be big? And she said, well, I went to see the Yoruba epic preview last week at the distributors. It's really colorful, looks really good. I think it's going to do well with a certain part of our audience that loves that kind of film. She'll say the same thing, you know, there's the Marvel film has all the hype, all the fans. I saw it, it looks disappointing. So it's probably going to open big, and then it's going to slowly die away, right? So we're making judgments all the time about what's coming, how well is it marketed, what does the film look like, and how well we think it's going to do. Based on how well we think a film is going to do, that's how you allocate the time slots. Okay? Because you're anticipating the demand for the film. What you don't want is to have a film that's been well marketed, people want to see it, you don't give it enough time slots, you've got people, the film sells out, people are waiting in your lobby, you've got a screen allocated to a film that nobody wants to see.
Right.
If you're running a business, what do you do? Do you keep that cinema hall empty? Now, if it's a Hollywood film, you're going to quickly say, no, let's show the film that people want to see. If it's a Nollywood film, now you're getting, okay, this filmmaker, we know the filmmaker, we know the filmmaker is going to be upset, you know, all this kind of stuff. That doesn't come into it, shouldn't come into it. It's purely a business decision. You allocate the number of slots. Now, that's the first thing. That's when the film is coming out. What actually happens in reality is you give a lot of slots to the Marvel film. You give a lot of slots to the big Nollywood film. The marketing doesn't hit, or there's a word of mouth comes out very quickly. Nah, Marvel didn't hit it this time. You notice that very quickly after the opening, the audiences are declining. You switch up the slots and you give more slots to the films that are doing better.
Have you ever?
You have to, because you don't want. So, and let me give an example of what happened in December. And people talk about these things, but we're actually there when it's happening in real time. So you get, it's Christmas, right? Everyone's on holiday. Schools are closed, uni is closed, people are over from London, New York, wherever, right? Everyone's in town wanting to have fun. During the daytime, film is the obvious choice. Film, restaurants, the beach, right? So people have a range of things to do. They say, let's go, one day we'll go see a film. Now, from 11 a.m. until 9 or 10 p.m., we've programmed the big films. Avatar. You can see it in the morning, you can see it in the afternoon, you can see it at night. Behind the scenes, you can see the Ovasabi Auntie, all of these films, you can see them throughout the day. Only one film sells out from morning till night. Another film is not doing so well. Hollywood or Nollywood, right? But let's stick to Nollywood because those are the ones that are here to complain. So the Nollywood film is not doing so well. But you're selling out a behind the scenes or an Avatar all day, and people are coming and you say, really sorry, sold out, really sorry, sold out. At some point someone says, okay, when is the next film? And you say, well, there's these other choices available. Now, if nobody wants to see a particular film, we're going to say, okay, there's 50 people in the lobby waiting, let them see the film, we'll switch the thing. It's just a normal thing that you would do. It's not because you like anybody or you dislike anybody, it's a commercial decision you're making on the spot, right? Now, the thing that people don't talk about though, and this is the thing I've spoken to several producers about, I've spoken to lots of my cinema colleagues about, we all saw the same thing. Morning till night, there's a film that's sold out, in this case, Behind the Scenes or Avatar. People show up in their numbers and they say, sold out. And they go, okay, what else can we watch? And they say, well, there's still seats for this film, this film, and this film. They've come all the way, they've come out for the day, they've braved the traffic, they've fought to get there. They're not turning around to go back home. So they say, okay, I can't see Behind the Scenes, I'll see Ovasabi Auntie. Can't see this one, okay, I'll see Colors of Fire. Can't see this one, I'll see A Dirty Christmas. And so people don't realize, and some of the filmmakers who are complaining, we had to make them understand, look, you're actually benefiting from the fact that someone did so much marketing, the dancing, if you want to call it that, right? But it's more than that. But they did all this marketing and people came out to see that film. They can't see that film right now, so they choose your film. You're the one that's complaining. They are actually choosing your film. I've seen this in real time. People are sitting there and they go, okay, what else can we watch? We give them the choices and they go, okay, let's pick that one. And then they'll still come and they say, but can I still, the next, say the 9 o'clock, can you book me the 9 o'clock for the film I want to see? And while I'm here, I'll see the other film. That's actually what happened. This is not a theory.
Right.
This is not something I heard.
Right.
Something I saw.
Can we maybe switch things up a bit? I understand the business of cinema. I understand that cinema needs to make money to keep flowing.
Sure.
And I know that for one, in Nigeria, we don't have a lot of cinemas. I think we have 118 or 16 cinemas in the entire Nigeria. From, I think I saw it in.
You mean in terms of brands?
No,
chains?
cinema screens.
Oh, screens?
Screens, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's over 100.
Yeah, I think 116 or 17 thereabout. I saw it in the Film One's yearbook they put out, and I think that of course is a major disadvantage, to filmmakers. But then the question for me would be that what about the guys who are not, and I say this quite responsibly, the guys who are not the Funkers and the Tonyans. Year in, year out, we've seen that it's subtle, because you started by saying anticipation. The manager will probably anticipate that this particular film would do well based on the story, based on what they're seeing, or based on what they know, and not exactly the person who's doing the film.
It's never about the person.
Yeah, but then the cinemas, it seemed as though that certain persons have gotten more oxygen than other filmmakers at the cinemas. In terms of
the question is, but why though?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Not about, it's like I said, there are times when my cinema manager doesn't take a film, and people don't think about this. So some cinemas don't take some films because that film, and it's not a question, is the film good, is it bad? It's the fact that this film will not do well in my cinema. So let me give you an example.
Yeah.
You have films that do very well regionally in the East or in the West that in my cinema will not do well. Right? So sometimes we don't take certain titles. And it's also to do with what else are you being offered at the time.
Right.
So our cinema, for example, does better with Hollywood titles.
Okay.
Right? So more people want to see Hollywood in our cinema because of our location, who comes there.
All right, that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
So you'll find, and we're independent.
Yeah.
If you are a Film One, Film House or Genesis or Silverbread, where they have films all over, they still make decisions about, okay, our cinemas in Lagos will take it, but this this cinema out here won't take it. So again, it's the same thing. We're making decisions about what we think will sell well. I don't care who you are. You made a good film. I think it's going to sell in my cinema. Bring it. It's not going to. Again, the sentiment doesn't apply because we're a business.
Yeah, I said that. I don't
get it. I don't understand why people think I would shut out a film that would do well in my cinema in favor of a film that won't do well because I know somebody. Are they going to pay me the difference?
There's a bit of, it's going to do well because this person has a track record of having, better films at the cinemas. Track record in terms of this person's films has done well in the cinemas in the past years. Yeah. There's that sentiment that you probably put into play when trying to select films, and it's the one that this person is new, so I'm not sure. I mean, the film might be great. You might love the film, but then which will now come back to marketing the film. Because if the marketing isn't done properly, even if the film is good, I'm not sure it's going to do well in the cinemas. So it's not even up to, like you mentioned, you might think the film will do great.
Yes.
But if it's not marketed properly, it probably won't do well.
So if you notice, anybody, free to look this up, look at the Oscars films, any given year. How many of them were shown in Nigeria? These are potentially the best films for the year in the world. And we didn't see them. Why? Because they're not the kinds of films Nigerian audience want to see. I will be watching and I think, oh, the dialogue is brilliant, this. A lot of Nigerians don't want to see a film with lots of dialogue. They want action, or they want jokes, or they want, whatever it is that they want. So even with the quality of a film, if it's not going to appeal to your audience, there's still things that we don't take from Hollywood. Because those things like Knives Out, all those things, brilliant, clever films,
So it's not a matter of Nollywood, it's just how it works for the business.
It's just how it works for the business.
Great,
and that's something people need to realize, is that we're making, and sometimes we don't even get it. Sometimes there are things that surprise you. Give you another example. A couple of years ago, we were all astounded. I remember I was going through the cinema on a daily basis for months, and I kept seeing the posters for Barbie.
Oh, okay.
and in my mind, you know, some film for kids,
right.
or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't pay any attention. And then one day I was reading the New York Times, and there was this detailed analysis of how important Barbie was for post-feminism and this whole analysis, and they talked about the film. And I said to my cinema manager, I just read this thing. This Barbie thing, is it what I think it is? And she said, no. I've seen it. It's going to be amazing. And I know, really? And then Barbie opened.
Yeah.
And our lobby was a sea of pink.
Right.
For weeks. Now, again, on the back of that, Oppenheimer, at the same time. Not the kind of film I would expect to do well in Nigeria. It wasn't just our kind of film, but it did well. And so you had what they call I think the Barbenheimer, for the Oppenheimer and Barbie at the same time.
Yeah.
This pink film and this serious film,
right.
Both of them swept the box office. So sometimes it's not predictable. So when we allocated the slots in the beginning, it was, moderate, it was okay. But we kept having to give more slots to Barbie because the women in pink wanted to see it.
People wanted to see it.
Am I to be the judge of? I don't care.
Yeah.
You're pink, welcome.
Yeah.
Now we were even doing pink promotions of our own online, right? If it's pink, because it's going to make us money.
Right.
We don't care.
Now, another thing happened, and for me, I'm sort of like the messenger. Think of me like that, right? I'm not a film person, at least for now. There was a time a popular filmmaker, Tony Abraham, I'm sure you know her. She went out on social media one time to call out a particular cinema in Ibadan, Heritage Cinemas, saying that they told her to do the needful. And in my head, what I concluded was she needed to do something extra to get certain showtimes. She said it, to get, particular showtimes, because she felt that the showtime that she was given was just not reasonable. Like people would not probably wake up that early to see the film or stay up that late to see the film. So she was like, nah. So you do the needful means I have to pay extra. That is my term. I'm Nigerian, so when you say do the needful, that's what it means. And then I'm wondering, because I know cinemas take a chunk of, not a chunk, but they take a percentage of what the film makes in total. Yeah,
the distributor negotiates the terms, and we abide by those terms.
Right. So why would a cinema? So is it a cinema? Because she mentioned it was the cinema manager at the time.
Okay. Right. So I wasn't there.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
If I were to take a guess, the cinema manager is looking after himself. That business of one. So because Heritage, it doesn't matter to them, they're going to just sell the maximum amount of tickets. So if you have a manager saying, oh, I could do this for you and influence the times, I mean, that's just corruption, plain and simple. I don't know who it was. I hope that person was fired because that sort of behavior has no place in the industry. Because in the end, that guy might have been able to pay his rent or whatever if he did something like that. But in terms of how it would affect that cinema or the industry, it'd be negative. We're not going to make more money doing that. I mean, how much money can someone pay you for you to be able to, change cinema times that you will now be selling more? If that cinema was selling out the shows that was selling out anyway for her film, another film, whatever, and the demand wasn't there, then they'd make the right decision to now switch it. So now you have people not able to see maybe a more popular film. Wouldn't make sense. It's always meant to be demand driven. And so, that guy, I don't know if that was a one-off or if that's his practice, but he shouldn't be in the industry.
Then the conversation can flow into perhaps some persons have done the needful. you know. And
again,
yeah.
anything is possible. But like I'm always saying, any of these things done at scale would become obvious.
Yeah.
So are there incidents of malpractice? I think in any industry that's bound to happen. But once it's on a large scale, it then becomes very obvious. Everyone can see it. Because what would happen is, let's say someone is doing the needful and influencing film times, what you would have is people sitting outside waiting to see a film they want to see, and then half a screen is seeing the film of the person who's doing the needful.
Right.
It would become obvious. So it couldn't last long, and it couldn't be done at scale.
Let's piggyback to marketing, because that's the core of this conversation.
Yes.
I want to say it's tough to market in Nigeria, especially to market film.
It's tough to market film anywhere.
Anywhere. And I would applaud the likes of Efe, Funke, and Tony, who sort of mastered what is working for them, which obviously we know that cannot work for every other person. And I think about it in Nollywood, and I think about the genre of films that we could possibly, just churn out at the cinemas. And I'm used to seeing a lot of slapstick stuff, and that has been the order for years now.
Yes.
And my case is now for those who want to do stuff that are not slapstick, cerebral stuff. Horror stuff, thriller. And I remember there was a time when we sat in the cinemas to watch Kemi Adetiba's, King of Boys for 3 hours, and we loved it. We did the same for a number of films that came after, because, there's a model in Nollywood where a film is doing, a particular genre is doing well, every other person is trying to do the same genre. Then it leaves a gap for filmmakers who are not trying to follow the crowd and trying to do something different. I've come to realize that it might be easy to market a film that is slapstick than a cerebral film, So, and as someone who understands this line, I want to market a horror film in Nollywood. First of all, would you even advise that I even do a horror film in Nollywood, in Nigeria? And if I'm doing that, how do I go about marketing? I want to be able to get at least some chunk, some bit of my money back.
Okay. So let's just first of all widen the lens for a minute,
right,
and just understand that film is film. So think about if you are an independent producer, an upcoming filmmaker in Chicago, New York, LA, London, okay? Just let's forget Nigeria for a minute.
Yeah.
And you want to make a film, and you have, of course, limited money to market it. You're small, you're just coming. And you now think about, you're going up against Disney, Paramount, Columbia, all these big
money studios,
with all the money. They can market you into the ground,
right,
and lose money on the film,
right,
and they don't care, because overall they're making money across all their films. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the reality of film and film marketing. Smaller films, can get crushed by the big titles, which is partly why you pick a window that works for you. Now, if you're a small filmmaker like Iniedo, it's your debut. You think you have a good film, okay? You think you have a good film. Doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. You think you have a good film. Are you going to pick December when there's a juggernaut at the box office?
Right.
Behind the scenes,
Almost
Avatar. There was a couple of other, I think Disney or some of these big animated things for kids, right? So there's several big titles in. Do you want to go in then? Or do you say to your distributor, find me a window and let me do the marketing to find my audience? That would be my advice. But I'm not the distributor and I'm not the producer.
Okay.
That would be my advice. Pick a window, a different window.
Right.
The obsession with December is wrong-headed, in my opinion. Yes, it's a time when people come out and so on. But if you have a good film and it's marketed well, you can do well at any time of year. So we talked about Barbie.
Right.
Was that in December?
No.
Was Black Panther or Wakanda Forever in December?
Even Oppenheimer wasn't in December. Yeah.
There's a budget. There's some Yoruba epics that have done really well.
Yeah.
Those were not December films.
Yeah.
So, this obsession with December. Now, let me take you back a little bit. You asked when I started working with EbonyLife Films. Prior to that time, people who've been around for a lot longer, people like Moses Babatope, for example, he tells me nobody wanted to release a film in December a few years ago. Nobody. Why? Because that was when the big Hollywood titles would come out. Star Wars, all these big things that would come out. And everyone said, nope, not me. And so I think he said it was August, a lot of people felt was the best time. Okay? We know in Hollywood that August is the best time for a lot of summer movies. Right? So there are different windows. Easter is a window. Valentine's is a window. Summer is a window. All the kids are on holiday. You always find younger titles coming out at that time. Christmas is a window. Family, that's for more family viewing than for young people, right? So there are different windows. Nigeria ignores the windows because they don't understand film marketing. So they go, Buddha made money in December.
I want to do December.
Funky Akadele made money in December. The only time I'm going to make money
is
December. How's that possible? We're open for 12 months. We make money all year round. We make a little bit more in December, but we make money all year round. So you pick your window.
Sorry to cut you. Are they allowed to, because the chain is the distributors and the cinemas. Now, if a filmmaker wants a particular window, the distributor can advise otherwise. But who does the final, in terms of decision, does it rest on the filmmaker or the distributor?
I have been in meetings, because I've consulted for Filmhouse Film 1 for about a year or two. And I've been in meetings where Film 1 is saying to a filmmaker, do it like this, do it like this. And the filmmakers
says no.
No, they don't take the advice. Often they don't take the advice. You can't make them do it, you can only advise.
Got it.
And so people decide. And so you're saying to someone, you've got a rom-com, bring it out in February when everyone's lovey-dovey.
Right.
No, I want the December money, right? Or whatever, right?
Okay.
I've seen those conversations. Or someone is saying, can you tweak your film in this way to suit the audience, because this kind of film doesn't really sell in Nigeria, but if you do it this way, it will. I'm an artist, I want to do the film. So people don't always take it, and that's fine. Do what you need to do, but you also have to take the consequences.
Got it.
And so if you're a small first-time filmmaker and you want to go up against the juggernauts in December, I'm praying for you. You know, good luck. But it doesn't make a lot of sense. So this whole thing about, and the other thing I want to say is film times. People have made a lot of thing about film times. If you come to me in March or June or October and you say, Michael, could I get better film times? I'm going to look at it and I'm going to see if, of course, we always are accommodating. In December, if you're complaining about film times, when other films are selling from morning till night, sold out, 11 a.m., sold out, 1 p.m., sold out, 3 p.m., sold out, and you're saying you didn't give me the 7 p.m. that I wanted, you made me at 5.
Right.
You're making me lose sales. I'm looking at you going, you do realize everyone's on holiday. You do realize that's why December is big.
Right.
It's because people are not just watching from 5, 6 p.m. until 9. People are watching all day. That's what makes the box office bigger, is that people are watching all day. If I walk around our resort at EbonyLife Place, during December, I'll see young people in the morning. I see them in maybe at the rooftop. I'll see them in the Afrobeat restaurant. I'll see them at Pizza Garden. And I keep seeing them all over the place. Why? So I go talk to them. I've been seeing you all day. Yeah, we're here to watch movies all day.
Right.
So we watch the movies, we eat.
You just
we
binge watch.
the movies,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
eat.
yeah.
We watch the movies again, we eat. And a lot of people I know, you just see drivers in the morning or early afternoon dropping off kids, dropping off young people, or the just got backs,
Right.
dropping them off for the day. Spend 5-6 hours with us, see at least 2 movies. And so that's the other thing people don't realize. It's not in December, the other thing that makes it big is that people don't just watch one movie. So the obsession with a particular movie and they're crowding out everybody else. We saw that movie, we came back, we saw that movie, we saw that movie. What actually makes maybe one movie bigger is the fact that people go back and see it multiple times. People don't think about that.
I saw a particular one twice. Yeah.
There you go.
For the first time.
I didn't understand this phenomenon, but I remember we were marketing Wedding Party all those years ago, and people would say, in those days, watching Nollywood films wasn't that cool. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody wants to see a Nigerian film at the cinema.
There
It's
you
like,
go.
why?
But then people would see the Wedding Party and go, this is different. This is, well. And I spoke to a lot of people because in marketing the film you have to get audience feedback.
Right.
And I'd say, why are you back the 3rd time? People say, this is my 3rd time. Why? Well, I came and I saw it. I thought it was amazing. And so I told my parents about it and they said, no. And they said, all right, I'll pay. I'll bring you. And then they brought their friends, and then they brought their work colleagues. So what we had at that time, and I'm sure it's the same with a lot of big films now, is you bring your friends, you bring your colleagues, you bring, whoever, to say, look, it's not what you think. Don't worry, I'll pay, I'll show you. And that's partly what launches a lot of these films, is because people are seeing them all day, people are seeing them multiple times.
Right.
And that's what makes December big, because people have the time. Rest of the year, it's, so if someone's arguing about film times in June or March or whatever, I'm always sympathetic, because we know that that's when people are watching films in the evening. Or weekends, of course, it's all day. But December, every day is a weekend. Right? For 6 weeks.
If you were to give Nollywood one uncomfortable piece of advice when it comes to marketing for film, what would it be?
It would be try to understand film marketing. So I teach a course.
Yeah.
I do a lecture every quarter at the EbonyLife Creative Academy. Recently, I've been doing one at the Multi-Choice Talent Factory,
yeah.
where they all have all these young producers coming up. And so they say to me, Michael, can you come and talk to our guys about film? They're worried about they can make a film, but how they're going to market it. And so the course that I teach tells you some very basic things, which most major filmmakers still ignore. So there's some young people running around who've been taught by me who actually know the structure of film marketing better than some producers. So what are those basics? The first thing is, it's never too early to start marketing.
Right.
When do you start, they say? I say, as soon as you have the script, or as soon as you've signed the director, or as soon as you get your first major actor, announce. Announce it early for 2 reasons. 1, you want to start the anticipation. 2, anybody else who has the same idea, you're telling them, I'm already there. So if it's that first horror film, I've got it covered. Go and find something else to make, right? So you announce early. What did we see in 2025? Those skits and those things for behind the scenes started very early in the year for a December film.
Yes.
What did we see already in 2026? We saw that EbonyLife Films is coming back to the cinema in December. They announced it when?
In January.
In January. So some people understand the playbook. Other people get to December and say, you're being unfair to me. No, it's someone started marketing early and building the anticipation for the film. So again, let's stick with those two examples.
Right.
Why does EbonyLife Films announce in January? Because they know that the film they're making is based on a book.
Right.
And that book is loved around the world.
Right.
So they're saying basically when they make that announcement, hey guys, I've read the book.
All
of you who studied the thing, it's coming.
It's coming, yeah.
The film is coming.
Yeah.
All those people are already anticipating the film.
Right.
Funke Akindele, Funke has come again. What is she cooking up this time?
Yeah.
For her fans, and this marketing is for the fans, they're getting ready for the next film. Okay? Hollywood does the same thing. Sometimes I talk to some of my friends, particularly people who are foreigners living here. They don't watch Nollywood.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they're looking, and a friend of mine who runs a restaurant, Lebanese guy, said to me the other day, I can't wait to see The Odyssey.
Okay.
He said, and I'm like, The Odyssey? I don't know anything about it. I go quickly Google The Odyssey, and it's a big film that's coming out much late. I think it's coming out in September or so, I don't know, right? Much later in the year. He's already anticipating because he saw the announcement, right? So first thing, and then you start to keep reminding the audience, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. As you're making the film, you're saying, here's some of the clips, you know, here's you see an actor saying, oh, I love to work with this director, you know, or I love to work with these other actors, or someone is showing you all the stunts, like when Tom Cruise is doing a film. You're seeing all the, you already want to see the film. You're saying, he's going to climb the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. Him, not a stuntman.
That's crazy.
I have to see that film.
I have to see,
So you're teasing the film all the way along, and then once you get to that critical 3-month window, there's a series of things that I teach that you have to do. You know, so the filmmakers who understand, they do all those things. People think they're just doing whatever. They're following a playbook. Now, you did say you weren't going to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah, sure.
The dancing.
Yeah.
It's what someone, and it's not just dancing, we all know that.
Right.
People are being a bit unkind.
Right.
It's a different thing. Skits, dancing, it doesn't matter. It's that person's playbook for how they get attention for their film.
Right. And there's nothing wrong in that.
So I knew I was coming on this show, so I quickly Googled.
Yeah.
And I got a whole list, about 10 major Hollywood actors who've all danced
to promote
a film, right? And the names you know.
Right.
Some of them were known as dancers, but even someone like, you know, Terry Crews.
Right?
I know Terry He's
Crews.
known to bust a move in an interview to promote a film, right? So people do other things. Tom Cruise did the whole Burj Khalifa thing to promote the film. But the stunt is not just a stunt, it's stunts in the film.
Right.
There's another actor, can't remember his name, but God, it'll come back to me in a minute. But he dressed up, he went to Cannes Film Festival.
Was it Johnny Depp?
No. It'll come back. But he dressed up as a bee.
Oh.
He dressed up as at Cannes Film Festival, which is a very serious festival. Dressed up as a bee and went to the top of the Carlton Hotel and zip-lined down to the ground. So it's like a bee flying,
flying down
right, on a wire. Very dangerous stunt. Dancing is the least of it. People do all kinds of things to promote films. And so anyone can Google to see all the craziest things people have done to promote a film. So dancing is done by lots of people. If people think about, if you have a major Hollywood film coming out, let's say Denzel Washington's in a film, it will be in his contract, right? And Denzel will fly to London, to Paris, to LA, New York. He'll do a global thing. And every single time they wheel him into a room like we're in now, he's sitting here and they're just wheeling in, okay, this is the guy from the Times. This is the guy from CBS.
Right.
This is the guy from here. Then he goes to London. Here's the guy from the BBC, the Independent, the Guardian, the this, the that. And he'll sit there all day, sometimes more than one day, just doing interviews for a film. So everyone has their playbook to promote a film. Okay, and the sooner we get used to that and decide what your playbook is as a filmmaker, how am I going to promote this film? You know, what's that movie that's coming out soon? The Nollywood film with the zombies.
Alive Till Dawn. I think it's out already.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Alive Till Dawn. That's Uso Arukwe.
And when I heard of it announced, and I said, if these guys know what they're doing, they will be having zombies walking around the streets of Lagos. And they did.
I saw that at the premiere mostly.
Yeah, but they actually went out into the street. But as a film marketing person, I said, I hope that's what they're going to do.
Right.
Because that's what I would do. I'd have zombies Third Mainland, you know.
I mean, they just need to be careful so people don't think that they're not, you know.
Yeah, you know, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
You do whatever you need.
You
do whatever you need to do, relevant to the type of film that you're making. And if you're known to be, you know, people know Funky as Jennifer. Right. So she plays that to the hilt.
Yeah, true.
And that's what you should do. Pick your lane, figure out what you're going to do, and max it out. And do it from early. Most people don't do that.
Great conversation. I want to round off with this. You talked about it as you were, you know, talking about marketing, and it's the collaboration that EbonyLife has with the other, you know, distributors for the film coming out in December. First off, I saw it and I was like, wow, like this is good. I don't think I've seen a collaboration as massive as this before. We've seen like 2 cinemas, 2 distributors come together.
Yes.
This is about 4 distributors coming together to make, you know, to put out something. Yes. You know, what do you think? Because a lot of people add sentiments about this might affect, you know, the December, you know, in terms of, let me get it.
I don't know. But go ahead.
So people were like, this might, I mean, if 4 cinemas are coming together, it means they have stakes in the film.
Yes.
So they're going to do whatever they need to do to ensure that the film gets, you know, the numbers.
Yes.
Right. Which could be more showtimes, which could be, you know, basically the film could be the poster board for the cinema in December.
Maybe.
Right. That is what they're saying.
Maybe.
Right? Now, will this affect other films that, you know, the traditional, you know, films that regularly comes out in December that you know that would do well? Because if you can't give the same amount of showtimes to all the films, I believe. Some would enjoy and the others would not. So if you're going to balance it, what is it going to look like?
So I go back to a fundamental thing.
Right.
Okay, look, are the cinemas going to give it the film favorable times? Yeah. Of course. Okay. Are they going to give other films favorable times? Of course. You know, if you have, I mean, we have 5 screens.
Right.
So if I can give 5 films favorable times. It's not, you know, I don't know why people think, is it everybody's running one screen? I don't understand, you know. We have 5 screens, you know, Filmhouse IMAX have 5 screens, Silver Ready Keja, most people have 3 to 5 screens. Right?
So there's space for everyone.
Yes, number 1. Number 2, as I said before, that you have all day to watch films, from morning till night.
Yeah, in December.
So what will happen is that the biggest films will sell all their shows from morning till night, right? But think about it another way. Mobuda hasn't even made the film yet, okay? But imagine the pressure on her or any other filmmaker when all the cinemas come together, as you say, the major ones, and they go, right, we're in it with you. You know the pressure to make a good film? You know the pressure to make a good film, because here's what everybody misses. Okay, let's just say, I'm Genesis, you're Silverbright, right? And we all say, okay, we're with you. We're giving you the favorable slots. We're giving other films, but you have to fill the cinema.
Right.
So times without people sitting in the seats still doesn't mean anything. right? Still doesn't mean anything. And when you have a marketing campaign, and there's a really good marketing campaign, and you drive everyone, opening weekend is phenomenal, opening week is phenomenal, and word of mouth is bad. Second week,
Goes
third
down.
week,
Goes down.
right?
Goes down.
And that's what people always forget. The hype only lasts as long as week one. Week one. That's why the obsession in Hollywood, and there should be an obsession in Nollywood, there isn't, because they don't understand it.
Right.
But if you understood it, part of what I teach young filmmakers is throw everything, including the kitchen sink, into the opening weekend, right? Hollywood obsesses about opening weekends. You've seen it,
for
right?
For sure.
Because you want the biggest possible numbers for that weekend and that week, because you want the maximum number of people talking about the film. I saw it, it's amazing.
Yeah.
We saw it, go see it, right? So the second week, boom, still big. Third week, right? There are not many films that recover from a bad opening weekend, bad opening week. We've seen a few, even here in Nigeria. You talked about King of Boys. King of Boys didn't have a great opening weekend,
true.
right? I spoke to Kemi about this, and she said she was so depressed about it. She thought, oh my God, I thought it was going to be
It's a good film.
And it wasn't.
Yeah.
But the word of mouth was incredible.
Yeah.
And everyone was talking about this film. And people said, you got to go see it. This is not like anything you've seen from Nollywood before. And so most of the time it's big opening week, and then you try to sustain it for as long as possible until it slowly declines.
I think I need to have you again because there's a number. See, I feel like film is, in itself, when you're having a conversation with someone about film, it's more education, you know, than just because there's a lot of speculations out there about how the film industry works. I think for the music, we can say to an extent that we understand the process. You know, we get why David will not win a Grammy. You know, we get why Tyler will win and David and not. So, but for film, the education is not exactly out there, especially for those who are running the space, who are like the gatekeepers. Now, the young ones are trying to get to understand. I need to learn this, and this has been some education for me myself. I really hope that you come again.
I'd love to tell you one more story before.
Oh yes, please.
Because you mentioned something there, and it just reminded me of something.
Right.
And it's people going away with the wrong impression.
Right.
So I'll give you another example. Toyin Abraham was in our cinema, and she, like Funke Akindele, were constantly in our cinema doing promotions. They work really hard to promote their films. A lot of people don't understand that.
I see it.
Right. And they send people to make sure that the film is being promoted, and they give them gifts, and they do all kinds of things once they've come out of the cinema. You know, fantastic. So I heard she was around, and so I came up from the office and I went to say hi, and we were just chatting for a minute, and she said, oh, Michael, you know, looking behind the counter, why isn't anybody wearing my t-shirt?
Right. What were they wearing?
Right.
Were they wearing something else?
They were wearing different things, but mostly I think they were wearing behind the scenes.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And for people watching who don't know this, every week throughout the year, any filmmaker will give you t-shirts so your staff behind the till can act as a reminder for people. They say, oh, which film should I watch? They look at your chest and they go, okay, I'll see that film. Right. So that's what people do. So Tony said, nobody's wearing my t-shirt. So I said, well, I don't know why. Because she asked me why, and I said, I don't know why. Now, again, take a snapshot of that moment. They're biased towards whatever, but we don't operate like that. I know we don't. So I said, I don't know. Let me ask somebody.
Right.
So I looked over my shoulder and I saw one of our supervisors, and I said, come. And in front of her, I said, why aren't all these guys, at least some of them, wearing an Ovasabi Auntie t-shirt? And he said, and I wanted her, thankfully she heard this for herself, he said, they were wearing them at the beginning of the week, but we didn't get enough t-shirts. So this other film gave us like 30 t-shirts.
Got it.
So the staff wear one, they're not going to wear the same T-shirt the next day.
Right.
They change into another one.
Right.
So they wore the blue one yesterday, the red one today.
Right.
They'll wear the yellow one tomorrow or whatever.
Right.
And she said, oh, but no one told. And he told her the exact number of shirts that we'd been given. And she said, oh, but we have shirts. No one told me. And he said, sorry. And she said, I'm sending you 20 shirts tomorrow.
Right.
And so we got the shirts, and of course,
we're able to balance it.
We're able to balance it. But again, it's just these things that if you don't have conversations with people, people take away an impression of what's happening.
Right.
And it's just that one person make absolutely sure you had tons of T-shirts, and it happens throughout the year. That's not the only filmmaker. Sometimes, in fact, I have to say to my cinema manager, some people have to wear uniforms. Everybody can't wear a promotional T-shirt.
Right.
We have to balance it up, right? So those are the realities versus the stories and the rumors. And it is I'm just telling you what happens in my cinema. You can multiply that.
I can imagine. And these are the conversations we need to have. Mr. Michael, thank you for coming. It was a very informative conversation, and I really hope that we'll have you next time. Facts is better.
Facts are better.
But my job is to ask you what you're saying.
Of course.
Right.
Of course.
Good. Thank you guys for watching. It's a wrap today. I'm sure you learned something, and if you did not learn anything, I cannot help you. Have a good day. Bye.